Hello and welcome to the Matthew Alton Art channel again. Today's video is another sketchbook video. Those of you who follow the channel will know that I've started doing sketches again after mainly doing paintings in 2024. I had a look through a sketchbook a couple of weeks ago with the patrons on the Patreon, and that inspired me to start sketching again like I was when I first started the channel. So last week's video was me trying to get to grips with feet, sketching feet, something I'm not very good at. And this week's video, I fancied trying to do a portrait again. I used another Art Prof video for the reference for this time portraits obviously, and picked an old Asian lady who looked very wise and very worldly wise. And I quite like that. I thought I would do it in charcoal this time because the sort of photograph sort of lent itself to being done in charcoal. Okay, so let's see how I get on. You can see I've taped a piece of Ingres paper to a board, and I'm using charcoal initially to just block out the main shape of the face and the shadow behind the head. I'm using the side of the charcoal, then I'm wiping that charcoal back. Of course, charcoal is very removable, so I've not drawn anything out in pencil here before I started, because I know that everything is really movable once I've started adding things. I'm now mapping in, now I've got the outline of the head shape, I'm mapping in the beginnings of where the main features are, so the eyes here and the eyebrows as well. This photograph that I'm copying is of a very wrinkled, wise old woman. So I'm just sort of using willow charcoal, just mapping out and now drawing, I suppose, with the charcoal and gradually refining where everything is. Lots of deep creases on the face here, which sort of makes it easier in many ways. It looks a complicated thing to do, but of course the creases and the relationship of all the creases to each other helps you map out the face more accurately. When it's a very smooth, beautiful, plain face, I suppose, there's not much to sort of hang the features next to. So it's far easier, I think, to do an older characterful face than a young, beautiful one with no reference points or few reference points on it. You can see I'm using a charcoal pencil as well for some more of the fine details, so adding some of those sort of very fine wrinkles, and also just gradually tidying up the main shapes that I've put on and the features that I've put on. Starting to come together and look like a face, certainly. But as with all portrait drawing, it's the tiny details that get the likeness or not. And it's not a perfect likeness to the reference that I'm copying here from the Art Prof video. Just darkened up the shadows behind the head there, indicating the flow of the hair there. It's very useful to get as much of the paper colour covered as possible. I'm using it sort of as a mid-tone in this drawing anyway. I've actually just been using the putty rubber to lift bits out there, the highlights, to expose more of that grey mid-tone of the paper. So it's a constant lift stuff off with the putty rubber and then put stuff back in till you get the right shadows balanced and the right shapes and the features looking like what you'd wanting them to look like. Back into the charcoal pencil again. I'm now just trying to indicate sort of the woolen stitches. She's wearing a thick woolen shawl. Just beginning to indicate that. And this is where I go a bit off piste and decide that for the white of the hair, I should be using the white pastel pencil. I'm not really sure about this. I'm not sure if I should have done it or not. The white certainly looks too stark at the moment, but because of that, I now start adding it to the highlighted areas on the face as well. So this is sort of, it starts to make it look a bit sort of chalky and a bit scrappy, I suppose. But it's starting to work now, and the hair whiteness is receding as I put more on the face. I'm doing it very subtly. I'm not really blending the highlights. I'm just putting them on in sort of cross-hatch lines. So from a distance it looks fine. Adding some white to those big stitches on the shawl now as well. And overall, if you compare this to the reference on the video, I'll put the link to the video in the end of the video. It isn't a perfect likeness, but it's certainly got a nice characterful appeal to it, I think. And again, bear in mind it's only an hour-long sketch. Not too far from the end now, I think, really. Just trying to add some wispy bits of hair. Add shadow under the chin on the shawl, and just finish that shawl so it actually goes up to the tape on the paper. Well, this is the final drawing. Overall, I'm quite happy with it. It took about an hour to complete in total, so not too long, and it's about A4 in size. It's not a brilliant likeness to the photograph that I was copying from the Art Prof video. I'll put a link to that video in the description of the video, by the way, for anyone who wants to follow along and do the same thing. But it's not really about likeness as far as I'm concerned. It's a very characterful face, and it's fine. And more importantly, it's another sketch done, practicing that hand-eye coordination, the speed of working, that sort of thing. Okay, those of you that are new here, do consider subscribing to the channel. It really help me out. Do comment on the videos as well. I get very few comments. It'd be nice to get some more comments on the videos. Those of you who are returned here, thank you very much for your support. And thank you for your time, anybody who's watched it. Okay, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.